Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Zone 32 podcast. The crew is in full and is in the stream yard. My name is Jake. His name is Drew. His name is Will. His name is Trippy. His name is motherfucking Grant. Say what's up to the people.
Fuck you.
Shut up, I'm sending out a
Fuck
tweet.
you, bitch. Then I find that. You don't want to say hello to the people? We'll get into the fucking show. I don't know who's watching. Somebody will. And you
We
didn't
got
get
four
say hi
people
to.
watching.
Because
Yeah.
well,
I
they didn't want to say
us.
hi to you for because fuck you. Thanks for watching. Not. Anyway, so the draft just happened. EDC, to recap it, I mean, they put on who's all been drafted. Fucking Wiggins and Rosengarten and all that. But I'm not going to get into the full details of it because we all know that information. So Drew, Will, Grant, everybody. But we'll start with Drew. Give me your thoughts on the draft and how it went.
So do I want to be like a typical Twitter dumbass and be like, "Oh, that draft sucks. We're terrible.
I'm mad
Ravens are
about the
screwed."
6th-round pick.
Yeah, actually, so I tweeted that I was mad about the 6th-round pick. I had no idea who he took. I was working, and I sent a message to a group chat and said, "What pick should I pretend to be mad about?" And Will said we took a quarterback. I didn't even know who it was when I tweeted that. So, I mean, Wiggins was not what I expected in the first round. We did a whole, live stream after the draft talking about that. So, whatever, you can go check that out. It's on YouTube and wherever the fuck else we put it. But Wiggins was not who I expected. I expected a wide receiver earlier than the 4th round. I like the Rosengarten pick. I'm not a huge fan of Isaac, but I don't hate him either. I would say that's pretty much my reaction to the entire draft. Like, I don't love anybody a lot, and I don't really hate anybody either. It's just a good draft overall. We already have one question of why the quarterback, though.
Well,
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that we had a relationship with him, with Leary specifically. That had to be a guy that they had targeted and thought could fill that backup quarterback role. And there's no way you're filming a 6th-round pick's reaction to your phone call unless that's like a previously orchestrated thing. So,
and in the reaction, it said that T. Martin's guy. T. Martin stood on the table
yeah,
for him. So, like, that's the quarterback's coach. You know, one of the tweets that I saw in the aftermath of the draft had nothing to do with the Ravens, but it was like a Bucks beat reporter, and it was like the Bucks scouting department had 16,522 players in their database. So my reaction is everybody who is bent out of shape about a player who got picked, unless you have 16,522 players in your database, then shut the fuck up because these guys got picked and they haven't taken a fucking practice rep yet. You can give it some time and figure out exactly what is going to come of this draft class in time. The 6th-round pick, I mean, a lot of times 6th-round picks don't make the team, don't contribute. Sometimes they do. But to get bent out of shape about it 5 seconds after the pick is dumb. I know that like Grant's going to have his own opinion and he can give his rationale for that. I can appreciate that. That's fine. But to me,
and Grant and I
getting
agree on it, but it
but
doesn't matter because, like, I would have rather gone the UDFA route because maybe you hit on somebody in the 6th, maybe somebody looks good in camp, but at the end of the day, like you said, it's probably a guy that's going to get cut.
well, and so here's my takeaway from it. The way that conversation sounded to me was, how would you feel about joining Lamar and Josh Johnson in the quarterback room? So their plan is they want this guy and Josh Johnson to back up Lamar. So I was having this conversation with an idiot named Tom, the fake doctor. Maybe he's watching us right now. I don't know, but
Unlikely. It's probably not available on Android.
true. So um, Josh Johnson has been the emergency quarterback for the last 2 years. I anticipate maybe that he's elevated to the backup. I don't fucking know, but no matter what, the backup quarterback on this team is not a guy that is going to win games. Is not a guy that comes in and is like saving the season for you. He's a guy who comes in and he hands the ball off. Maybe he throws the ball a couple times. Tyler Huntley would come in and like when Greg Roman was here, he would throw the ball 30 fucking times. That was dumb. That was like a dereliction of duty, in my opinion, on the offensive coordinator. So this guy doesn't have a skill set that is anywhere close to Lamar's, and it's much closer to a Josh Johnson. So like it's two backup quarterbacks who are game manager types, and that's kind of what you want in a backup quarterback. It's just a guy who can come in and kind of just run a watered down offense, hand the ball off to a guy like Derrick Henry, just kind of keep the offense moving. And bottom line is this: there is no backup quarterback who is going to save the season. Lamar Jackson is the offense. If Lamar Jackson isn't playing, this this team's season is derailed. Period. They're not going to win shit. They're not going to contend. Like a couple years ago, we made it to the playoffs, and Tyler Huntley made one of the biggest bonehead plays in the history of the NFL, in my opinion.
A lot
So,
of
like,
people keep
it's
saying
just
that.
what?
They're like, if Lamar get hurt or something, like that's the thing. Like, I still feel like if he get hurt and stuff, I feel like we still can compete.
If Lamar gets hurt, it completely derails your offense. You
Yeah.
have built an offense for Lamar Jackson,
And that's what you should do.
Right,
And that's something that can be said about any team with a franchise quarterback. That's a fucking stupid argument.
I understand where Trippy's coming from. He's saying like there are 53 guys on the roster, and it shouldn't just be Lamar. But like Lamar gives you a whole different angle than any other player on the roster, and there's no backup that can easily replicate what he does. So why stress about who it is? I guess is more what.
Well, and like you know what and like the best way to describe it is when Lamar was the backup, Flacco was shitting the bed. Lamar Jackson came in with a like 3-page playbook and saved the season, right? So like Lamar Jackson's that guy who transcends kind of the position. So like when he's the backup, he's better than the starter, and when he's the starter, there's no backup that is ever going to replace him. So to me, it's
you
like
can't replace a transcendent talent.
no,
like
you
Lamar
can't
Jackson.
do it, right? So like drafting a guy like this, it's a placeholder guy. It's very very cheap. So instead of like what Tom was saying is go get a veteran backup, go pay a veteran backup $7 million or something to back him up. Fuck that. Even if it's $3 million, forget that shit. That's stupid. Pay this guy that hit him on this roster. His charge against the cap is going to be like $400,000, something stupid. Like it's basically nothing. So to have two quarterbacks where the total charge is like $1 million against the cap when we have a lot of money invested in other places, that's a good use of cap space because we have a lot of money tied up in the starter, and if the starter is not playing, the offense is basically just not going to work. I mean, we're not going anywhere if Lamar's not in the game.
So
now,
here's
if he gets hurt and it's a temporary thing, you can bring one of those guys in and keep things moving. And if it's like he gets dinged up, needs to go out of a game and, rest going into a bye week, something like that. Okay. That's when a game manager can come in. You can still win the game. If it's a multi-week thing or it's a season-ending thing, we got a problem. So,
right, you're never going to
hold on. Let me get in here. Here's my sentiment though with the whole 6-round quarterback thing. Like, okay, if that's your guy and if T. Martin's banging on the table saying, "Hey, this is my guy. I want this guy." Like Drew said, you got to look at the undrafted free agent route if you're waiting that late to secure your guy. I think either Joe Milton or Jordan Travis was the guy as far as what could have translated to the offense, like if something were to happen to Lamar. But at the same time, like you don't just – I call it a wasted pick. And the reason I call it a wasted pick is because you have other positions of need that you can develop depth behind, and there was a lot of draftable players left. So, like, for instance, I was really big on Javion Cohen, the guard from Miami. He's a guy that could come in and compete for who knows. We have 2 holes at guards. He could come in and compete, and he's a guy. Xavier Weaver, the receiver from Colorado, he fits what we could utilize as far as a 5th or 6th receiver, and he's a specialist in the return game. You let him go undrafted. Like there's these holes there that I think value more than a backup quarterback when you already have a Malik Cunningham. He hasn't even gotten a shot yet. We don't know what we've gotten him.
Clearly they don't see him as a quarterback.
Right.
What happens if he goes out and does something? But then you have Josh Johnson, and then in undrafted, you pick up Emory Jones from Florida. He could easily come in and beat out Leary as the backup quarterback job. So then what happened? So I see it as another Ben Mason situation where you took a guy just to take a guy, and it wasn't of a position of need. You knew that there was a high potential he might not make the roster. Like, I think that you just have to go a more developmental route to a position of need of somebody that you could say, hey, I got this dude. I mean, Trey Smith was a 6th rounder for the Chiefs. And,
Yeah,
you
but
know, like,
everybody does this where you pick a guy who was, Tom Brady was a 6th round pick, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, cool. But not every 6th rounder turns out to be Tom Brady. Most of them get cut. Most of them are practice squad guys. Most of them are, 53rd guy on your roster. Like, I get where you're coming from, that there were other positions of need, but I don't think whoever we picked in that spot has a real good shot of making the roster, regardless of what position they play.
better shot than a random quarterback in the 6th.
But
I mean, you got to look at
but if he
Dennis
turns
Leary
out,
might be better than Malik Cunningham.
but
So.
but if he turns out to be the backup quarterback, it's a good use of the pick.
Wow.
And here's the devil's advocate. If they have any sort of intel that someone else was going to take that guy, and that's the guy that T. Martin wanted as the guy in the building as the backup quarterback, then using it a 6th round pick, which is not a high value draft pick, to get his guy that he wanted in the building as the backup, then that's a good use of the pick. That's the quarterback's
we'll
coach
see what
making his
happens.
pick.
I mean, what I did watch of him though, I mean, he's got good placement on the ball and he makes pretty smart decisions. Like, he's not going to wow you athletically, but I mean, he's just a guy that'll come in and just do what the coaches ask him to do. So I can see that aspect of it.
I mean, isn't that exactly what you want out of a backup quarterback?
Right. Exactly.
Why fans keep saying Malik Cunningham? I told you I saw him in person. Like, not saying he couldn't play quarterback, but I think he's too small. That's just my, you know what I mean? And I feel like if the Ravens,
I put a comment up on the screen about, what's up with Malik Cunningham. They clearly don't see him as a quarterback. Is what it boils down to.
And that's what I'm saying, because like he looked small when I was on the sideline. I had field passes, and I was definitely looking at him that first week. And the first thing I said to myself, like, dang, he played quarterback. Like, he just looked little down. I mean, I might be wrong, but I just don't.
I mean, there's obviously something with him that they don't see him being, somebody who's going to take up a roster spot being a quarterback for you. I think it's as simple as that.
I like Emory Jones, though.
Yeah, I do too. I think he's a game.
But look, this the question I got though, right? Do you think some fans mad at that pick because they want if we drafted or at least pick up a quarterback, they want somebody similar like Lamar? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that they wanted somebody who fits that, mobile quarterback mold. But again, we just talked like there is no other Lamar. You can get somebody who has, who runs fast, but they're never going to be Lamar Jackson. So it's one of those things. You
still want somebody that can replicate, though.
Yeah, but I mean,
like, it's close.
Leary moves enough that I feel like he could run an RPO. He's not going to pull off a Lamar Jackson run, obviously, but not many guys in the NFL can. So I don't think that he's I guess I don't put the same emphasis on your backup quarterback that other people do. And that's why I would make it an UDFA. What was that?
Outside of that one, I think the draft was great. Like, I'm big on – I didn't think any way in hell Nate Wiggins would fall to us. You got a guy that's going to lock up the outside, move Marlon inside where he's been –
we got Nate and TJ.
He's played better on the inside. And then, the Rosengarten pick is – that's my favorite pick of the draft because, I mean, he's a multiple positional player, and he's a guy that's going to step in day one on right tackle and solidify that side. I saw some people talking about it, but not a lot of people are realizing that Penix is a lefty. So technically you've got a guy on your right side that gave up 0 sacks. That was the blind side blocker to his quarterback. So now you've got 2 blindside guys, and that's somebody
I read a lot of people bitching about how many holding calls he got in that national championship game. Like, he was the only guy that didn't get Penix killed that game.
Yeah, so, I mean, at that point he was damage control. Isaac in the third, I was indifferent on that. I feel a certain way about Penn State pass rushers right now until we get something out of OA which I think this year could be the year that he does. But it's growing on me, the pick itself. But I don't know. Maybe I would have gone interior offensive lineman at that point, or depending on what receivers were there. But then you get
another one though. It's like you trust the coach who banged on the table for it, and Chuck Smith, his track record of Chuck Smith got Justin Madubuike his contract. Chuck Smith just got Jadeveon Clowney, $20 million in the twilight of his career.
Made Kyle Van Noy look, 10 years younger.
Right, exactly. So Chuck Smith,
Yeah, he's having a good
like
year.
he to me, you can't question when he says, "I want that guy. I can turn that guy into something." Then, all right, Chuck,
Yeah.
you got it. You take it.
Well, and then we bounce back in the fourth, and we get Tez, who obviously I'm a fan of, and I think he really fits what we can do offensively as far as stretching the vertical tree, and that's going to open up a lot more on the inside in the intermediate game. And the whole drops issue that people are talking about, that's just from the Senior Bowl, and he struggled at the
and they're
Senior
forgetting
Bowl, and
that
that
they
was
had
something
he had a trash bag quarterback throwing him the ball too. So
yeah, and I mean, shit, whatever. But in game, you got to think about the
You tricked
vertical
him.
tree that he runs. He's not catching just quick screens and things like that, and more in breaking routes. He did line up in the slot a little bit, but most of his routes are on that vertical tree, so those are a lot tougher catches. And they're usually contested catches, which is something that he excelled at. And then we turn around and get TJ Tampa, who he was my 5th ranked corner, and I didn't think for anything he was getting out of the 2nd round. And we got him in the 4th, and he complements Wiggins well because he's another outside guy, but he's more of he'll defend the run a little bit better. He'll come up and smack somebody, but he's also zone and a man type corner. So he's very fluid in what he can do. And I mean, I'm super high on TJ Tampa, and I think that was a steal of the draft.
Hey,
So
we got a guy asking a lot of questions. I think.
So I actually put one of his comments on the board because I think it sums up my thoughts on the draft very well. Like, I would have taken a wide receiver earlier. I would have taken a guard at some point. I would have, there were other guys on the board when we made picks that I probably would have taken over who we picked, but I also have no issue with the guys we picked. So it's kind of like we were in that weird spot of like there were, again, like I don't know if I would have gone Wiggins round 1. I have no problem with taking Wiggins. I like Rosengarten. I don't know if I would have gone Isaac round 3. I probably would have gone with like a guard or a wide receiver there, but I also have no issue with the pick. I think that perfectly sums up our draft to me, is that it wouldn't have been the route that I went, but it wasn't a bad route to go.
Right. And so in regards to, no matter what, you're always going to have people who have a reaction, and a lot of it's going to be negative with the draft.
Overly positive. It's only
right.
one of the polls there. It's never a rational reaction to the draft.
Exactly. My reactions always with the draft is just relax. I mean,
I really only get excited when we pick Michigan guys that I wanted on the team.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know that we picked anybody that I was like, I really want that guy.
I like the Rosengarten pick. That's the one that I was like, all right, this is a good pick.
And of course, Tez.
Yeah, but there's no guy that we took who I specifically had in mind that I wanted. But at the same time, I'm not gonna sit here and say when we pick someone like, oh, I'm fucking pissed off that we took that guy.
Yeah,
it's stupid. React that way, and that's where I think it's ridiculous the reaction that people have when they react to a pick because they wanted a different guy picked. That's so stupid because they get tunnel vision on, oh, I want this guy. You are you work at fucking Circuit City. That's not even a place anymore. Fucking Best Buy.
Circuit
you work at
City. What?
Damn, he dated himself.
Yeah, you work at fucking Enterprise. You work at Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Yeah.
You're a fucking accountant. You're a fucking bus driver. Whatever. Like you have no basis for getting upset about the pick that was just made. You're a fan. Relax. Just wait and see what happens with the pick. Just chill the fuck out. It's April. Calm down.
I feel like Will took an unnecessary shot at me there, but
he did.
It's fine.
He did.
Yeah.
I'm just naming profession. I'm just
to answer Dustin's
question. Rise Electronics in this bitch.
Yeah, fucking
Rise Electronics.
But to answer Dustin's question, and Dustin, we appreciate you, man. But to answer his question, that just tells me that they feel good about who's in house right now and the potential of who's out there available right now, or who's, post June 1st guys that could be tempting that get let go. But I think he feels good about who's in house right now. And I think that there could have been guys there, but there's just people there at a position in need that he felt more valuable and didn't want to reach on a position. And I completely respect that, because when you reach on a position, that shows desperation. Go ahead and build your team out from how you want, your roster to develop itself. And talent-wise, stack one position if that's who falls to you and that's what you feel your roster is built on, which corners, interior offensive linemen, receivers, like those are depth positions. We have a lot on the roster right now. So like they're younger guys. Do we trust them? I don't know. But I think that they feel good about them. So if EDC is not making a move and feels good about his interior offensive lineman right now, then let's cook with what we got and then see what's out there, potentially in the free agent market.
Yeah,
I think we've set
to me the weakest link right now on the offensive line is right guard.
and I don't even know if that's true.
Well, I'm just saying,
Ben Cleveland has looked good at right guard.
Yeah,
so.
all I'm saying is, to me, that is the one spot because he is taking over for what was one of the stronger positions on the offensive line. So Zeitler is going to be big shoes to fill.
He was taking over the best of the three spots that are going to turn over this year, I guess.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So Voorhees, I expect to be really good, and Ronnie Stanley, I expect to. Even though we saw Ronnie Stanley be very hot and cold last year, he has every reason to play to his best possible potential that he's capable of because he has a lot of incentives to earn back, right? So, and Jake,
and he's in a contract year.
I have never seen Jake so active on Twitter as he was yesterday. He made some very convincing arguments against our friend Mo about this. So, Ronnie Stanley has a lot of incentives built into his contract that he needs to earn back, and he's playing for a new contract. So, like, Ronnie, I expect to see Ronnie playing at a higher level consistently this year than he did last year, and he's going to be healthier this year on a consistent basis, assuming he doesn't re-aggravate anything or get hurt again. Right tackle, we have a new right tackle, day one starter, right? We have some depth there as well because we have Josh Jones, we have Makari as our swing guy.
We have Falele.
Or maybe who knows? I guess Makari is the backup left tackle. I don't know. We have depth on that offensive line. A couple weeks ago, the offensive line was this gigantic question mark. I feel like we're way more deep there.
I don't think he's making the team.
We have different questions.
Falele?
We're unproven.
Exactly. Where our questions are now that we're unknowns. We're going into the year with a bunch of unknown guys. Before it was depth questions that we didn't physically have anybody who could start there. Now it's who's starting and do they live up to last year's offensive line, which I don't think is a very high bar.
Right. There's a lot of teams. There are a lot of teams that would kill to have the depth chart we have on the offensive line right now, I think.
And there are guys like Dalton Reisner still on the market that are, guards. And if you feel like, Salah's not it, or Voorhees is going to have to play right guard because Cleveland's not it, and you need another veteran guy to play left guard. Like, there are people out there that you can sign.
And we have a history of trading from that depth pool and getting, like EDC loves to stack picks. So, like, trading one of those big old guys like Salah or Falele or someone like that, where if we have too many bodies in the building, there's going to be a team out there who's like, oh wow, look at this guy, he's 6'8", 380 pounds. That's somebody we would like maybe throw them a 5th round pick for that, So like there are moves to be made there. I think the offensive line is less of a concern than we thought it was because we have to believe the lack of attention that was paid in the draft speaks to the confidence they have inside the building.
Not to brag about how right I am, but I did say this.
You did.
We have had this.
You were absolutely correct.
That,
100%.
That they must feel better about their offensive line than we do, which is, who am I? Like I'm just a lowly accountant in Will's eyes. So who am I to who am I to question somebody whose job it is to put a roster together? If there is one position we can question EDC at, it's wide receiver, and that's really it. During his tenure here, that has been the only spot that has not worked out at all.
Right.
I would say he had a failed plan with Villanueva, but he also wasn't meant to be your left tackle that year. So there were extenuating circumstances there where that didn't work out. But pretty much everything else he's done has worked out pretty well. I mean, John Simpson signed like a big money contract this offseason. And we were talking about what a fucking loser he was going into the year. So
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I think that is our overall point on the draft too, is that like None of us know shit. So
Yeah, well, and I
chill out.
also I just want to make a point about the Isaac pick because that was a very polarizing pick. A lot of and Grant kind of he said what a lot of people are thinking about. Oh, they associate a Penn State pass rusher with Oweh. The problem with that logic is this: Oweh was number one. He's a first round pick. He was a high potential pick, but super raw and coming in basically with no like nothing behind it. It was like, okay, he's a freak
We
physically.
took him. We took him with a first-round pick that we had gotten for Orlando Brown Jr. with the idea that we were going to use that fifth-year option as like an extra year to develop him.
Right, exactly. But he also came in coming off of a year where he had 0 sacks. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it was a COVID.
That's
It
correct.
was a weird pick. Now, and people were like, oh, no, not another Penn State pass rusher. This guy just is coming off a year where he had 7.5 sacks, 16 and a half tackles for loss. He has the stats. What's that?
No, I'm about to say when Oweh got drafted, they already said he was a raw talent. He was raw. He was very raw.
This guy has the stats to back up the pick, and he got picked 93rd. We're not talking about a first-round pick. If anything, I think it's a value pick at 93. Personally,
So
He's
what
an
Will
athlete.
is saying,
He's an athlete,
what Will is saying
sure.
is don't helmet scout unless it's North Carolina quarterback. Then you can helmet scout.
oh, absolutely, yeah.
I think.
Guy
Hey,
ain't
once you
grow
get some
fucking
more change
hair
over
on his
there.
chin.
But no, I saw a comment about Rasheen Ali too, and you know I love him.
Uh-oh.
I mean Ray Davis was my late
Hold up,
round running
Drew.
back.
Did you just pin that fucking
Yeah.
message up there?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
But Ray Davis was
Hey,
like
I
my
agree.
late
Must have been
round
somebody
guy
else.
that I really wanted. But Rasheen Ali, he had a bicep injury, but he's a running back. You know, that's a short recovery in a sense for he's going to be ready for, preseason. I think they said August 1st. He'll be ready by August 1st. But he's explosive. He's a slot receiver. In the receiving game, I think it's very underrated for him. If people go back and watch the way he runs routes. I mean, there's a clip of the Senior Bowl where he's one-on-one with Cedric Gray and he makes him look silly. And Cedric Gray was one of the better coverage linebackers in college football last year. So
Ali's a good insurance policy for Keaton Mitchell too. Again, he's projected to be back for the beginning of the year, but we all know how knees work and how it works for the
so
Ravens.
here's the other side of it though, is they actually all complement each other well. So Derrick Henry's Derrick Henry. We know what we're getting with him. But Keaton Mitchell is a better outside zone runner, and Ali can take up more inside zone as far as vertical seams. So they actually they are very similar because they're quick one-cut guys and get vertical, but their games are a little different to where you can kind of mask your blocking schemes based off of which one is and which one's not in. But they all three complement each other really well, I feel like.
So what I'm thinking about here is, week one, you have Derrick Henry's obviously your lead running back. He's going to get, 70, 80% of your runs for a running back. But then you can use Ali as kind of your running back too, and a little bit of Justice Hill. And then when Keaton Mitchell's fully back, you kind of phase Justice Hill out.
Dude, when you just said Justice Hill's name, I was like, what the fuck? Justice Hill's still on the team? What? Yeah. Justice Hill.
He
all
still
right.
exists, but you're getting to the point where you don't have to give him the ball anymore.
He's going to be he is going to end up being like a special teams only player by the end.
Which is good. That's what he's good at.
No, it's not.
No,
and
no. I think he gonna still have a major role in the offense. Stop doing that all the time. Every time a running back come, y'all trying to give up on the man. When he was for real, he was kind of the spark of the offense last year, and we talked about that plenty of times. Hello?
Yeah, but he was because of weird injury circumstances.
Yeah, dude.
He did a great job. Don't get me wrong. He is a great guy to have on the roster. I'm not trying to get.
Stop lying. It wasn't no injuries because remember the Browns game?
What do you mean? It wasn't no injuries, dude?
It wasn't
we didn't have Derrick Henry.
Yeah, we added somebody who's gonna take the bulk of the running back carries.
If we have Derrick Henry and Keaton Mitchell healthy, Justice Hill is not going to be getting.
I'm talking about last year when we had.
I'm talking about this year.
And we had Keaton Mitchell and
I don't give a shit about last year anymore. I'm talking about this year.
Man, go ahead, man. You quit to give up on that man. He's gonna be a spark this year.
I'm actually saying the opposite of he's a good guy to keep on the roster.
And I'm saying that too. I'm just saying by the end of this season, he's going to be primarily playing special teams because Keaton Mitchell's going to be fully healthy. Derrick Henry's going to be the primary ball carrier, and there's not going to be much to go around for Justice Hill. That's not
If
a
Justice
bad thing.
Hill's your
That's not,
fourth running
I'm
back,
not
you're in
saying
good
anything
shape.
about Justice Hill there, about his skill set. I'm just saying Keaton Mitchell deserves more touches than Justice Hill. He's electric. Derrick Henry is a fucking animal and will
All I'm
get.
saying is last year when Gus Edwards and all of them was healthy, majority of the time Hill was coming out there starting. I get what y'all saying, but like
Yeah, but
I
that
still think he
last year
going
is irrelevant to what is going to happen this year.
okay.
We did not have
I still feel like he gonna have a little part in the offense. That's
in the
just my
beginning of the year.
opinion.
Sure, he will, but I'm saying
Beginning and the end of the year.
no.
I mean, he might. You don't
Not
know
after
how
Keaton's
Mitchell,
healthy.
but you don't know how he turns out. So, I mean, that's a fair point. Is that Justice Hill could still be a factor in our offense.
If it went okay, if Keaton Mitchell and Derrick Henry in say the last
Bro, you keep saying Keaton Mitchell. Like, let's be real. We don't even know if he's going to be healthy right now. So now
I'm
gotta
posing a hypothetical. I'm saying
I think Trippy's got a little bit more inside knowledge on this than we do. So,
well, all I'm saying is in the okay, if we're talking I said by the end of the year. So if we're talking about the final 1/3 of the year, right? The home stretch. So the last half of November into December, we have a healthy Keaton Mitchell, a healthy Derrick Henry. We have Jesus Christ. That's gross. Hill RB2.
I had to put that up on screen mid rant for you.
Yeah, so we have Derrick Henry and we have Keaton Mitchell and we have obviously Lamar Jackson still is going to be carrying the ball. There is not going to be a whole lot of opportunities for Justice Hill to contribute in the run game. There's just not. True or false?
fall.
No, I mean, true. In a perfect world, like Keaton Mitchell is healthy, but he might not be. Ali is healthy, but he might not be.
I'm saying in my hypothetical where those two running backs are healthy, Justice Hill's not going to get on the field much.
Yeah,
I get what he's saying though. To start the season, he's going to be RB2.
Trippy's saying don't crown Mitchell or Ali as running back 2 until they
I haven't
take
even
away
mentioned
from Justice
Ali's name. I haven't said Ali's name one time.
Why not?
Because he's a rookie. I know how we handle rookies.
I
Especially
thought it might have been for another reason that was exposed on Twitter yesterday, but I guess
No.
You're sure?
No. Is Mo here?
I don't think Mo's here. I'm not sure Mo knows how to use Twitter live streaming features, but you never know.
No.
New running back will take
I'm saying
snaps from Justice Hill by week 3.
I'm saying though, what's up with this? We gonna get into this wide receiver room though. Like,
yeah, I think that's probably our next stop. So, should Will and I scream at each other for about 20 minutes, should we?
I mean,
Let's start intelligently with the wide receivers, and then we can devolve into fucking chaos.
Grant's going to be involved in this conversation too because he agrees and understands my point.
Yeah, Grant's fluent and retard. He coaches college kids. He gets it.
So, okay, now we have some context that we can actually talk about. Rashad Bateman signed a 3-year extension, and the reason that he basically had no choice but to sign that extension, because we had a lot of really stupid fans saying, oh, we got to give him that 5th-year option. First of all, no, the fuck, we did not have to give him that option. Would have been dumb to give Rashad Bateman.
Let's cut the shit. We couldn't give him the option. It didn't exist.
Yeah, that was real today.
But that context, without knowing that context, people saying we should give it to him when his best year was 46 catches for 586 yards and 2 touchdowns.
When was that?
That was his 17-game average that you just quoted.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
That was his 2021 output.
I'm fairly positive that's his 17-game. Regardless, we're getting bogged down in stupid details here. So we extended
46,
Rashad.
46, 515, and 1. I'm sorry. 46, 515, and 1 was his 2021.
Now, if you click all 3 of his seasons together and then look at 17-game average at the bottom, does that say 46, 584, and 2?
I have no idea.
Regardless, he wasn't worth $14 million.
No, $14 million would have been an insane to pay someone who has never even caught 50 balls in a season. That's crazy. So people who were saying we should give him that extension, get the fuck out of here. You're an idiot. They're the
So-
same people who get fucking worked up about and cry about, a draft pick in April. Now, that being said, now we know because he showed up for camp late last year, he basically forfeited a year. He's only credited with 2 years towards that rookie wage scale. Right towards his
Yeah, it basically
year
deemed
option.
him in it's the same thing as like you call up a prospect later in the year in baseball to, save their service clock. Like it was
Right.
the same thing basically happened.
So
He didn't accrue a year of service for last year.
Yeah. So exactly. So he wasn't eligible for a 5th-year option. So the team offered him a 3-year deal worth $15 million. So he's getting paid like a mid-tier wide receiver 3. As he should, based on the stats we just talked about. That's what he's put up. That is the production we have come to expect from him. So he should get paid commensurate with what he has produced.
So can
So-
I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm starting to like, I see how fans like they act like they the boss and shit. Like they Steve Bisciotti. Oh, this player should get this. Oh, it don't matter. They should get this. Like, is we trying to win a Super Bowl or they just want to see these players get paid? I mean, that is
Right.
the goal. I mean, don't get me wrong. That is the goal, right?
That's the
goal.
player's goal. Why do
But
people care
that's
about
the-
guys
that's
getting
the-
paid?
Right. That's the goal. But my thing is like, I mean, I don't know, bro. Maybe I'm just tripping right now, but I just feel like our fans, like they got their certain picks. Like,
Our fans are weird where they're like LeBron dick riders, but they like dick ride certain Ravens players. They don't actually seem to care about the Ravens team. It's all about like a certain fucking player that they're in love with.
And like I said, y'all was a witness to this. Like, I ain't never been no Rashad Bateman hater. I always thought maybe he can do something, but like for these fans to really be bragging, like, bro, that shit embarrassing, right? You go in different different NFL spaces and shit, and they like, oh man, y'all signed that receiver, and I'm like, well, I can't say shit, but you got other fans, you know what I mean? Like, like, I don't
They didn't
know,
give him
bro.
shit. I mean, here's the bottom line: is that Rashad Bateman the Ravens had him by the balls. Like he couldn't get his 5th-year option picked up, and so this was his next best option to get quick cash. Was to sign that extension. Certain
Because all that fucking
morons.
sub
Well,
and shit.
and I would like to
Oh.
point out the team knew very much what they were doing when he
Yeah.
didn't report and they put him on the did not report list. They knew
Yeah.
damn well, okay, now that 5th-year option off the table. So
You talking
it
about
gave
this
them
year or last year?
last
Last
year
year.
when they did that, they knew, okay, next year when it comes time, guess what? Now we don't have a big decision to make about that option, that big money fully guaranteed option. Now it's going to be the leverage is on one side of the table, so it's a take it or leave it deal.
Well, I don't think they placed him on that until after he reported, though.
No, but I'm saying they didn't have to put him on that list.
I'm sure that there's some clerical way they could have gotten rid of that if they wanted to pick up his 5th-year option. I think is what Grant's point is.
Well, what I'm saying is they know. You're right. What I'm saying is
it was done to give them options. It was done to give them leverage.
Yes, exactly. And
then it's
I'm not going to toot someone's horn here, but the guy's very smart.
Yeah, and he giving out he throwing the little Drake videos out and shit. Like, I mean, that's all cool.
I wanted so bad to post that and be like and tag him and be like, you're gonna fucking you paint your nails like you're gonna chip a nail trying to fight somebody. Like, let's calm down.
Yo,
Rashad.
like I'm my bad, Brian. Let me say one more thing.
No, you good.
I remember like I'd be in spaces and I'd be like, shit, Travis Taylor was nice. I feel like Mark Clayton was nice. Quadri Ishmael was nice. But you got fans say, oh, they trash. But if you look at their numbers, they was producing. Even Kamar Akins. You feel what I'm saying?
I'm not even sure I'm not sure Bateman's a top 10 wide receiver we've ever drafted.
No.
Even Torrey Smith, like I would love to have Torrey Smith back on here. Like
Will, a concerned watcher just texted me and said you need to flip your camera and then called you a dipshit. So just food for thought.
I know who that was.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
who,
But
you know
no,
who that was, Will?
I don't think Will knows. I don't think
Hey,
you know
Will,
who
you
it
know who
was,
said that?
or Will knows who it was.
Say who?
It's an
Will,
unnamed
say
source
who?
who is pointing out that the Zone 32 logo is backwards in your background. Will.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
Say
is.
who, Will?
It's
um,
right. It's right on mine.
It's
Hey, Will, you
100%
know who
backwards
said
on
that?
live stream.
It's
You just said
100%
screenshot.
backwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hold
Um,
on. Watch
but
this.
no, I see a comment down here about do we trust our wide receiver room and should we grab a vet? I think we should absolutely grab a vet, whether it's via trade or via free agency. I mean, there's still some
Michael
names
Thomas.
out there. I'd like to see a trade. No, I don't want any parts of Michael Thomas. I think it should be via trade, but there are options out there. I feel good about what's in the receiver room, but you need that other guy. Like, I mean, Aguilar was above expectations last year. Bateman and I'll let Will get into this, but his role is going to be different. And a lot of comparisons
Say
have
the
gone
fucking
out
word
about
and you'll die too.
about
So
a lot of comparisons have gone out about the style that Tez can bring to the offense that Torrey Smith used to on that vertical tree, stretching the field, getting behind
Yeah.
corners, making it difficult on people. So I think, do I think he's going to come in right away and be like an immediate impact rookie of the year type dude? No, but I think he's going to be able to grow and come in and be able to develop himself for, maybe a year 2 or something. But I think this year he's going to be a contributing rookie. And I think he's going to make some big splash plays for us, and people are going to be like, oh, he can really do that. But we have a guy that can stretch the field and make contested catches, which we haven't had in a while. So that's going to change Bateman's role, that they're going to utilize him more in the intermediate game. And then Zay can do what Zay does. And then you have Aguilar too. Tylan Wallace, if they give him more of a shot, he hasn't really gotten much of an opportunity at all. So, we still don't really know what we have in him. But I do think that we need to go out and get a vet via trade or free agency, preferably
I would
trade.
love to go get a Michael Thomas because he does the role that you guys think Rashad Bateman's going to play, but he's actually good at it. So I mean, he fits that mold of that short chain mover.
That is
possession catch
exactly
guy.
who I had in mind when I said that. By the way,
That is the move. I've been pounding the fucking table for him for like 4 years. So let's go.
yeah. Except he
get that
fucking
done.
gets hurt every
He's
2
not
seconds.
on the field ever. I want a guy that's going to be on the field.
And yet you want fucking Rashad Bateman to play that role because he's had one healthy season.
Man, I know
Eat
one
my
thing.
dick.
All that shit Bateman
Let's be real.
talking
Or
about,
lick
man,
my
he
balls, as
better-
Will would say.
My expectations
Who's played
for
more
Bateman,
games?
I need over 1,000
Recently.
yards. All that shit he talking,
Thomas.
all that shit. Bateman, I need 1,000 yards.
I need Bateman to
Anything
just shut his
below
fucking
that
mouth.
is
I don't want to remember Rashad Bateman's on the team unless he's doing something good. So I don't want 1,000 yards. I don't have any contrived milestones for him. I want to forget Rashad Bateman exists until he does something good. So show up at camp, shut your fucking mouth, stop wearing your fucking, $1,000 designer jackets to sign a contract and posting fucking Drake memes on your Instagram story. Shut up and play football. That's what I want out of him. But we can get into our much touted debate here that I was literally ready to like punch a hole through my fucking wall talking about today.
I warmed it up.
Will, would you like to set the stage, or can I do this? I think we lost Will.
Will.
Oh, Will experiencing technical difficulties.
Yeah. Okay, say it again. Sorry.
When it's time to shine.
I think
said,
he heard us the whole time.
Do you want to set the stage for this debate, or do you want me to?
All right. So my I can read the tweet if you want me to.
Yes.
Post it.
I'm trying. Hold on. Let me send you the picture.
I'll send you the picture from the source after the stream. I don't know why it's backwards for everybody else, but it is.
Whatever. I don't really care. Everybody who's seeing it backwards, fucking cross your eyes or something. Suck my fucking dick. How about that?
That's the only reason I brought it up. All right, so Will had an incredibly cringeworthy tweet that he's looking for. Typically,
Hold
Max
on.
edits this part out of the podcast, but
Okay, here it is. The Tez Walker
Oh.
pick is going to be extremely beneficial for Rashad Bateman. We're starting to see EDC's vision come into focus for that position. The roster holes are being attacked one by one, and this team is getting a lot better with every move we make. Now, Grant and I, where'd Trippy go?
I don't know. We lost him.
Grant and I think got to the bottom of this. Drew's reading comprehension sucks. I think he thought that
Will, it is not beneficial to Rashad Bateman. We gave him a demotion and we gave him a pay cut.
Am I allowed to
nothing
speak?
beneficial. No, you're not. Not until you apologize for using the word beneficial. My issue stems from your use of the word beneficial. There was nothing beneficial to Rashad Bateman about that.
Grant, do you agree?
How is it not beneficial though? If it's going to benefit his game, it's benefiting him.
How does it benefit his game when you're taking targets away from him and you're giving him a lesser role?
You're not
You are
taking
saying
targets
We
away
don't
from
know
him.
we don't know that we're taking
you are
targets
saying
away from him. But last
you're
year we
saying
asked
Rashad
him to be a
Bateman,
field stretcher, and he's not a field stretcher. So now he's going to go back to the
So
intermediate.
you're saying
stick
Rashad
game,
Bateman,
and that's what he's
Rashad Bateman, you want to be a wide receiver one someday. You want to get paid. We drafted you to be this guy. You are not capable of it because you fucking suck balls. So here you go. We drafted this guy who can do your job better than you, and now you're relegated to wide receiver 3. How does that benefit him? The only thing that benefits him is he's not going to get cyberbullied.
It's positional football. It's what you're
Will's not
asking
going
him
to call
to
him
do based out
Balenciaga
of his
Bateman and
alignment.
make fun of him for painting his nails. That's the only benefit it has to him. We brought in somebody better than him. We replaced him because he's not good enough to do his job. There is no benefit to him personally in this at all. It did not benefit Rashad Bateman. It benefited the Ravens. I don't understand how this is like a contested point. It's the use of the word beneficial and linking Rashad Bateman to the Tez Walker pick. That
put it this
my
way.
mind.
You're a baseball guy, right? Put it this
Yes.
way. You got a center fielder that is asked to play first base, but he succeeds better at center field. When he's able to go back to center field, are you going to keep him at first base, or are you going to put him at his natural position?
That's not an apples to oranges comparison because you're still going to get the same number of at bats. You're still going to get the same number of at bats, so you're not taking away opportunities from him. There's only one football. There's only one football. They're only going to throw the pass to one guy during a play. He's still going to bat the same amount of times whether he plays first base or center field. You may benefit his defense, but you're not.
Yeah, the WR doesn't mean that's his position, though. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Is the WR doesn't mean that's his position. He positions himself. He's going to be a Z instead of an X. He's going to be able to play his routes on the same side as the slot to where they run combos off each other, which is generally more of inside routes and quick routes. So, like you're talking about the wide receiver position as a whole. He's putting himself in a different position. And that's why I compared positions on the field in baseball, because he's looking at.
So we'll stick with the baseball analogies here. You guys are all Orioles fans. I know Will hates Dean Kramer. Dean Kramer sucks balls. He's not a good pitcher. If you sent Dean Kramer to AAA, it would be great for his stats. He'd kick the fuck out of AAA, hitting because he's not a good pitcher. But how does that benefit him at the major league level? It doesn't. You've demoted him. You've taken him out of your rotation. There is no benefit to him for that, financially or personally. It's 100% the same thing. You took Rashad Bateman, who is, supposed to be challenging to be your wide receiver 1.
What you're saying is like you're sending Rashad Bateman back to Minnesota.
Yeah, might as well. We've buried him on the depth chart.
Still on the Ravens.
You just said last week you couldn't wait to draft somebody so that you could bury Rashad Bateman on the depth chart and not have him play. And now you're then turning around and saying that you then want it's beneficial to him to be buried on the depth chart and not play.
Well, he is going to play, though. And the reason I know that is because you and I were both told that by someone.
Yeah. I mean, we were told that going into the season, he was, slated to be wide receiver 2. It doesn't mean he's going to actually be wide receiver 2.
And I'm not saying he's going to be wide receiver 2.
He's going to be wide receiver 3 or 4, which means that his next paycheck is going to be greatly affected by the fact that he's going to see diminished targets, and everybody's going to realize that
we already know.
Be wide receiver 2.
In fact, he didn't. In fact, he got a raise. Let's be honest.
No, he took a pay cut.
No, he didn't.
He took a pay cut.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Now you're making shit up.
I am not making shit up.
Yes, you are.
He took a pay cut. He is not. I mean, he is just. We told him. We said, Rashad, here is this, wide receiver 4 contract. We don't view you as a wide receiver 1. We don't think you're good enough to be a wide receiver 1. We then went around and drafted Zay Flowers, We then went and drafted Tez Walker, who fills the role that we thought you should be playing, but you're not good enough to play. And we're paying you less money than you thought you were going to make going into this offseason. And then we're saying, oh, yeah, but this is good for you, Rashad. This is benefit. You're gaslighting Rashad Bateman, which I'm fine. If you're playing some kind of fucking mental warfare with Rashad Bateman, sign me up. Fucking
Everyone
nail
suck
painting.
my dick. Said everyone suck my dick.
Why? Oh, you
mean,
flipped it around.
Mm-hmm.
It's about time. Oh, here we go.
Well done.
The source commented on why he texted me.
I already saw that, but I have proof that it was not reversed. My shirt
I
was.
have proof. I have proof that your background was reversed.
I mean,
just like I have proof that you're gaslighting Rashad Bateman. So I mean, it's the same story. It's not beneficial to him. Is the end of the conversation here? It was the terminology behind Tez Walker is beneficial to Rashad Bateman when it's not. That fucking drove me up a goddamn wall. And I think, Grant, you as a football guy can understand that. What I'm saying is that you have essentially buried Rashad Bateman on the depth chart, paid him like a wide receiver 4, and then you're expecting me to say that, this is good for him. Like, you've put him in a role that he's more capable of playing, but he's not fucking good enough to play a higher role is the problem.
But I get what you're saying. Though. I do. I get what you're saying. What Will's saying and what I'm saying is from a contribution standpoint, it's better for him that Tez is there and can do what we expect him to be able to do because his role is more inclined with what his skill set is. So I get what you're saying, but what Will's saying is on the opposite side of it as his game is going to be benefited because he's going to be able to do what he's capable of doing. Yardage wise, a healthy Bateman in this role, we would hope to see, 500-600 yards out of him.
What is this motherfucker cold crush? What's your at?
Bateman's still the best wide receiver on the team, hands down. His injuries have hurt him. No, his inability to catch the ball has hurt him. That's been his issue. He's not good.
What's your at, cold crush? No.
Bateman will have 1,000 yards this year. 10. 10 what? 10 drops?
10 touchdowns, probably.
But again, Grant, you're saying that you think this new defined role for Rashad Bateman
That's his name. The person that you saying at Cold Crush, that's his name on Twitter.
Yeah, these are Twitter handles. Or these are Twitter display names.
Display names. I want an at. I want an at.
That's his at name, Cold Crush.
What you need my at for? I like this guy. I'm a fan of this guy.
So I can at you with my fucking proof, bitch. That's
my
why.
man right there. Look, that's his at name right there. Say it right there with the axe. What you blind? Right there.
That's his display name, man. What is
Oh my god. All right, man.
Yo, Hanahan Jr., is that his fucking at? No, that's his display name.
You don't see right there where it say Cold Crush like 3_. Cold 3_ crush.
Right, but that's like yours says Trippy or something like that for your display name. Yeah, it's not his at.
I'm telling you, that's his at name.
All right, well, I'm gonna add that motherfucker right now. That's not his fucking at name. That's not his at name.
Will, if you search the face emoji cold _ crush and then the cold emoji, you'll find him. Trust me.
No, I searched him. He's hiding from me.
You should search better. Maybe he has you blocked. I like this guy.
You got him perplexed right now, Cold Crush.
He's got Will. He's got Will in fucking.
He can't figure it out.
Worse. He's got Will in a worse mental pretzel for this than Will.
Look. Will don't know what the fuck they did.
No, I'm just gonna add him. I'm gonna add him on Twitter so I can show him the screenshot on my end.
Look, I'm gonna tell you another funny thing, right? Y'all was standing beside each other when we was talking to the play.
You showed a screenshot the screen with a backwards 32.
Don't worry, I got the proof. I'll send it to Will afterwards. This is.
I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Okay. I've already reviewed the proof that it was backwards. It was backwards in my own eyes watching it, and then it was backwards on other people's screen. So
Well,
I chalked it up to like I'm, fucking lead broadcaster or whatever the fuck they call this shit. So we've gotten off track here though. Not beneficial to Will to have a backwards background and get called out by it by people on Twitter, and it's not beneficial to Rashad Bateman to have
Jake's gone.
Jake's gone. Where the fuck did Jake go? Jake died.
40
No,
minutes.
Cold Crush, I'm
That's
with you.
being nice.
This is definitely our fastest wide receiver room in Ravens history. Yeah, I mean, it probably is. I do like some of the UDFAs we brought in. I like some of the, lower end free agent signings. I do think we're missing a Michael Thomas. I think he is the guy that fits this offense the best. Jarvis Landry, too, comes to mind. That's another guy with that same skill set. Or, can Anquan Bolden still play? Because he's another one, just bring him back. I think 50-year-old Anquan Bolden's probably still good enough.
Yeah, there's a ton of speed though.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that we have a lot of speed, so now you can live with a guy who runs a 4.7 but catches everything. Yeah, Will. So it's got to be your I don't know, whatever your display was, whatever your display camera was, must have been backwards.
I hit mirror on it. That's why, probably.
Oh, we have Jake back, except for.
Oh yeah, there you go. It look better now.
Well,
Yeah,
whatever,
send me-
Cold
send-
Crush.
send me-
You keep
send me
watching,
that.
and we'll keep being on camera. How about that?
Send me that real quick, Will, so I can make that my background.
What's that?
The Zone 32 thing, because I can't
Well, this-
find mine.
Well, this one's going to be too wide for you. This is formatted for my laptop.
So Michael Thomas is still getting paid by the Saints, right? And whatever we sign him for is the the difference between he'll still get the rest of it from the Saints, or is that
No.
done now that the comp
No.
pick shit's over?
No, it's over.
I'd rather us
Okay.
stick with our young receivers we got, and let's see what we got.
So the only thing that I don't like about running with a wide receiver room that's so young is that you're missing that veteran presence. I feel like we still kind of need that.
True.
They'll sign someone. They will sign someone.
Yeah. You make sense.
I'm not looking for somebody.
I thought Gallup, but he just signed with the Raiders today.
Yep,
well,
saw that.
So that kind of tells you I don't think the Ravens are looking to spend $3 million on this guy. I think they're looking to spend vet minimum on whoever they bring in.
So what you think? They might just wait to see if somebody get cut?
Yeah, you pick up somebody like Clowney towards camp where you give them, vet minimum base and you give them a ton of incentives. This Odell noise too. I don't know who started that, but
I
can't see it happening.
I wouldn't rule it out if we get into the summertime because Odell did like it here. Odell's good for the wide receiver room, and Odell just made like $16 million here last year. So I could see Odell being open to coming back to run it back because this team I think could be better this year than last year for sure.
N'Keal Harry is probably available. I don't know what he's doing with his life. But.
Bro, I couldn't believe I wanted him, bro.
N'Keal Harry, we all did.
Bro,
I never wanted him. Coach G was a huge N'Keal Harry guy, though.
I like N'Keal Harry. N'Keal Harry was supposed to be what Brandon Ayuk ended up being.
So actually, if you think about it, if every wide receiver Chibbs has ever wanted has turned out to be terrible.
Hold on. Yeah. Did you say that because Tom said it?
What?
That N'Keal Harry is probably available?
Yeah, I read his comment.
Yeah. Let's stop reading Tom comments out loud, please.
Tom, please continue to comment.
He's saying
I'll filter through what's successful.
He's trying to make us look stupid by saying this shit on our podcast. I
was interacting with the live viewers. Well, some of us have stage presence and some of us don't. It's fine.
No. New rule: no interacting with bald people.
Some of us show up with backwards, displays in the background, and some of us just, stick with the normal wall behind them.
No interacting with bald people.
Trumpy is not bald.
Our GM bald.
I'm bald. What's wrong with bald people, Will? Jake's bald.
Jake's not bald.
Jake has hair.
Jake doesn't have
Jake's not bald yet.
Jake should probably go bald so he'd stop being gendered, but that's a different discussion for a different day.
Hey, Will, would you ever go
Someday.
bald? Would you
What's
ever
up?
go bald, Will?
I got so much
Will,
hair. I'll
Will
never
would
go
get
bald.
hair implants before he ever went bald.
I've had the same hairline since I was fucking born, man. I'll never lose my hair.
Speaking of
Dr.
hairline,
Leonard or somebody else?
y'all cooked that man on Twitter the other day.
Oh, yeah, your buddy.
Yo, the EDC with the binoculars, yo, that shit, we died laughing, yo.
Fucking Nike swoosh sponsored hairline. Talking
Yo,
shit
it was
about how
the
people
angle.
look.
First of all, even if it was the angle, bro, why are you taking a selfie like that? Like, what the fuck? You
Yeah, he goes, "Oh, it's the angle, buddy. It's your fucking Abby. You posted it."
Yeah, like
He's like,
Oh,
"Oh,
it
it's a
was-
photographer."
bad angle for
Oh yeah,
photographer malfunctions.
he do be shooting though. He told me that he be shooting. He a Browns fan. Well, I told y'all about him. He a Watson fan, but
Yeah, he called me a rich cracker once because he got
Oh yeah.
upset with something I said.
That was the one that said it. I ain't like that shit. I had to tell him like, yo, chill, y'all.
Well, I mean, like if you're gonna call me a cracker, like at least pick one that's a correct tone to match my
Yeah,
skin. Like call me a saltine.
That's way too dark for
Yeah.
Saltine cracker.
Right, like I'm not tan enough to be a rich cracker.
No,
It was just
you're an oyster cracker. You're not even
yeah, oyster cracker or saltine. Like
I
at
mean,
least
no, I
if you're
ain't
gonna
gonna lie,
insult me,
though.
do it right.
If he would have called you a saltine cracker, maybe he could have made it seem like you were salty. You feel what I'm saying? Some shit like that.
If he called me a
but I
saltine, I would have retweeted it because it would have been funny and it would have been accurate. But he just called me a ritz, which is just stupid. Like, just doesn't match.
I got a question.
Okay.
I mean, Trippy's not the kind of guy to ever call anybody a racial slur, right? I know Trippy. That's just not him. But there's a couple black people here in the comments. Do black people realize that calling white people crackers does not offend a normal white person? Like the only white people it offends are racists.
People forget that Will and I were Antonio Brown's original crackers of the day.
Yeah, yeah, we were.
We started Antonio Brown down on a path of calling every white person he's ever spoken to a cracker. So
I'm just giving tips out. If any of the black folks that are in the comments right now, and I'm doing this because I'm pointing to the comment section on my screen, but don't call a white person a cracker if you're hoping to get them mad, unless it's like some redneck. So I guess you can call Grant a cracker and he might get mad. I don't know.
I mean, you do kind.
That got Grant right out of his chair. He was ready to go.
But no, you do kind of make sense though, cause like you saying that shit now, it got me thinking like if a black person out of the blue just be like, you cracker, like they got me thinking like they might be racist. You feel what I'm saying?
If anytime like when somebody calls me a cracker, I just laugh, and it's not like I'm laughing like good one. I'm laughing at them like, are you
The hardest
serious?
I've ever
That's
laughed
the
at a
dumbest
tweet.
fucking insult I've ever heard.
Hardest I've ever laughed at a tweet is some angry woman called me a mayo pack, and I was just like, "What the fuck does that even mean?" And I was dying for
What
like.
did that guy call me? He called me
Mayo
that
demon or
mean?
something like that.
No, he called me bleach demon.
Bleach
That
demon.
was funny.
Yeah.
That was funny. That's good. Now that's funny. Again, it doesn't none of it offends me, but that's at least funny. That made me laugh. Like I actually was like, that's fucking funny. That's good.
The funniest tweet I ever saw was, "You think
Me
you know
body bagging
ball?
Richard Sherman.
You think you know ball because you know all the plays that you be seeing them come in before the game." That was the funniest tweet ever. That shit was hilarious.
Oh yeah, I forgot because somebody got upset with one of your Bateman digs. Yeah, I don't know if did we address this last week where Trippy just got fucking killed by people online for things that like I've literally said.
I got mentions. It was like I probably still miss some of the motherfuckers unread. Look, I'm going through that shit because I remember, bro. Like I think earlier we was in a group chat and I think somebody sent it, but somebody sent it to me earlier. But when I went to Ian Ratbert like tweet, I didn't see it.
I had to put it on the screen.
That's Naldo.
Oh shit!
I had to put it on the screen.
That's wild. You
That's
feel
funny.
me? So
Bleach demon and Mayo. What do you call me?
So look, when I got back in the house, right, man, I was getting hella tweets like, "Bro, you good?" I'm like, "What the fuck going on?" Then my cousin, 3-year deal. I'm like, "What?" Bateman. Then I get hella little mentions. Boy, I know you mad. I'm like, damn. Then I had to start a space. Everybody coming over there, like, you feel me? But I'm good. But it's funny though. This was really funny how a lot of these fans saying stay on that side. What side? Like what? The Ravens side? Because that's the side I've always been on. You feel what
Well, I
I'm saying?
mean, and
So,
you
like,
defended Rashad all fucking
I
season.
defended that man all that time. All I said was, "Hey, Ravens, how you feel about him?" And shit
And he
went
got sacked.
left. Yeah.
Well, and let me be real with you too. Most of it is people are jealous of your access and like that you're featured and like they players, come up and talk to you and stuff like that. People get jealous over shit like that and say like the dumbest stuff out of pure jealousy. So that's all that is.
That's like 93% of the negative shit that gets tweeted at me.
100%.
Like, I don't know what they're jealous about, but they're clearly jealous about something. So
Like
always
Dr. Tom will say like Will's just saying that because the GM's wife wears his sweatshirt.
Yeah, Dr. Tom is a great success story for his community, I would say. Like somebody should probably do like a feature from a certain group, that promotes those people. That's all I'm saying.
Doesn't Dr. Tom drive in a car by himself with gloves on and a mask?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Dr. Tom lost the helmet recently.
Let me ask you.
Oh shit, you lost the helmet? Hey.
Yeah, doesn't need to wear it anymore.
Let me ask y'all another
So
question,
you know what?
right?
Godspeed, Dr. Tom.
The way how the fans be talking, right? Imagine if the fans got to run the team. Like we get to vote on like what
We'd go 0-17 every fucking year.
We've seen what that looks like. It's called the Washington.
It's called the Cleveland Browns.
The Washington franchise from 1990. When did Snyder take over? 94?
From 1999 until about 2021.
Oh, 99.
2022.
Yeah, exactly.
99.
That's a fan running a franchise. It was a fucking disaster.
We'd be so fucked if we did like a popular vote. Like if somebody put out a poll on Twitter and said Ravens fans, like, and it could only be voted on by Ravens fans. And it's like, which guy do you want us to, draft, sign, trade, whatever? We would go 0-17 every year.
The Legion of Gloom would have we are like 62% of our salary cap would be devoted to wide receivers.
Well, and it's funny, like the original Legion of Gloom is just like they're just mad to be mad, but at the end of the day, like they kind of know what they're talking about. They're just like they pick like the team has flaws. Every team has flaws. It's impossible to put together a perfect 53-man roster. So they'll nitpick things like, you paid middle of the roster players $7 million and you should have paid him $4 million. Like, yeah, that's fine. That's real. That happened. Okay,
the original Legion of Gloom, they've actually, to me, circled back around. And
because they're like looking at the people who like hopped on their bandwagon and like, wow, you guys are dumb as shit. I don't want to be fucking.
The original Legion of Gloom has actually kind of like become part of our group.
I'm about to say, who the fuck is that?
I couldn't even. That was all the people who were like, we're going to trade Lamar and the Ravens are going to go 0-17 every year. And, Steve Biscotti only cares about how many yachts he owns and not the team. Biscotti. It's Biscotti.
It's got to be the bid every week.
Gotta
have the bid every week.
We've retired that for about 4 straight weeks. So
you haven't said it. So,
yeah, I haven't had a situation to say it. Oh yeah, I went down a rabbit hole last night.
God damn it, Trippy! This guy you brought into here. What's up with this guy and being on Bateman's balls? Good lord!
I think that guy has your number. I like him.
My God,
he lives rent free.
This live podcasting is a whole new world for me, man. I got these fucking people telling me I'm backwards, sucking Bateman's nutsack. What the hell's going on here?
You're used to your little safe space, fucking echo chamber. You don't know how to survive on the Twitter street.
I can't see the
we got Bateman dick riders just like fucking.
Will needs to bring his talents to Facebook. He's not.
You're accusing me of being a real Bateman dick rider.
A what?
A Bateman dick rider.
Yes, you are.
No, Cold Crush is a Bateman dick rider.
You are also a Bateman dick rider.
No, I'm not.
Why is Trippy in here twice now? What the fuck's going on?
Whoa.
Trippy, which one are you going to keep?
Jesus Christ, dog.
What's better than one Trippy, 2 Trippies?
That's right.
Will's built for MySpace.
Tom's built for the Hair Club for Men.
MySpace Tom is telling Will that
the Hair Club for Men. the keepers of the secret of Easter.
Ugh.
How
Nobody
how
else besides me gets that reference, Jake. It's unfortunate, but
that's too fucking bad.
it's facts.
That is an Easter ritual. You have to watch the fantastic Easter
some
special.
very special fans who, to get to Trippy's point, if we let them make all the decisions for us, we would literally never win a football game.
Oh no.
Nope.
The reason
We would have drafted
yeah.
7. We would have traded up, drafted 4 offensive linemen.
Well, and then we would have drafted 4 offensive linemen, and then half of the people who were supposedly responsible for doing that would have gone on Twitter and complained about it.
Every time my AirPods disconnect, I don't understand why.
Maybe they ran out of battery.
I hate AirPods.
No, it's every time. Trippy has some fucking magic spell over my AirPods, apparently.
I hate AirPods, man. Like, I can't really hear out them. I said regular. I'm tripping. I'd rather the regular earphones, the wired joints.
Yeah, you got the old school ones.
Yeah.
If I'm bald, you're an Oompa Loompa. Oh boy. It's getting testy. I don't know if Will's ready to respond to this comment yet.
So yeah,
Tom, it's YOU_RE.
Yeah, don't
spell check on me.
Yeah, I've been trying to do this for like many years, Jake. It's not working.
I made a decision
That's fine.
for myself, right?
Illiteracy is the devil.
If
you know what's funny is Tom making a joke about MySpace.
Yes, that was kind of the point, I think.
Well, I don't know.
I know him well enough to know that there was
ever close a game that's close again, and I'm at the Orioles Stadium. I'm leaving the game.
So I need to make something. I need to tell everybody something. On Friday, I met up with Trippy because he was going to the Orioles game, and I gave him a vintage Orioles jersey. And since he's worn that jersey 2 times, the Orioles have blown 2 games in the 9th inning. He was there for both games wearing that jersey. That's not good.
And look, what was crazy about Sunday though? I lie to you not, because I was right there with Lacey and them, right? I said, oh shit, I'm having flashback. I said, I'm sorry, y'all. She's like, come on, Trip. No negativity. Be positive. Be positive. I'm like, man, I was talking to her nephew, like, bro. I said, Will, this shit is giving me flashbacks. His name Will too. I said, Will, this shit is giving me flashbacks from Friday night. And I'll be damn if he ain't hit up. Look, he walked the first dude, right? Then the next batter, smack.
It looked exactly the same. I was sitting at the bar and I saw the first pitch and I was like, am I watching? Is this a fucking replay from the other day? This is crazy.
I warned you guys. His name's Cardiac Craig for a reason.
Hey, guess what I was ready to do?
He earned that nickname.
Hey, Drew, I was ready to live bet on the A's, right?
I mean, look, there's a lot of absolutes.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go Orioles, and yeah.
Trippy's in the ballpark wearing my jersey that I gave him. He's gonna go do a fucking money line bet on the A's. What the fuck is that?
Why are you trying to kill my man's come up here? Could have hit that, and then could have started a hot streak of a lifetime, and won $100,000 betting.
You can't bet the other team in your home team's ballpark.
Yeah, I've lost a lot of money this year following that exact strategy. Sitting there watching the Red Sox, I'm like, oh yeah, there's no way Chris Martin gives up 4 more runs, and then fucking gives up 4 more runs. So
I'm not saying you have to bet your team, but you just don't bet. You don't bet the other team. That's fucking terrible.
Bro,
terrible juju.
And I ain't gonna lie, you the reason why I hit that Royals ticket when they came in town the first time. Because I had all them Orioles things on there. And I said, what? I really wanted to put Bobby Witt on there. And the dude Perez. Because I know, they always be getting hits.
Dr. Tom has several Bobby Witt Jr. jerseys framed in his basement where he takes all his creepy selfies.
No. It's loose leaf paper signed.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I mean, they won.
Was that Oscar De La Hoya that he got to sign?
No, Roy Jones.
Roy Jones.
So I think next week the rookies come in for the little mini camp joint.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
that's right, they do.
So hold on. If we're gonna tweet out rookie clips of anybody coming in that you're hyped up about, if you tweet out a fucking high school scrimmage, I'm gonna make fun of you.
No, as you should. Remember
he
when
tweeted Dalvin Cook FSU highlights.
Yeah,
fucking signed Dalvin.
Was that him?
Yes. This motherfucker, there's years of more relevant highlights, and he's like, no, you know what? I'm gonna go back like 20 years in the vault and tweet this shit out.
And I think he tweeted, it was almost the exact same tweet. He said, like, we're getting a dog.
Yeah, and then it was a fucking FSU Dalvin Cook run.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we're getting a dog, Bo Bead, and fucking, oh, here's him laying out some fucking kid who runs an enterprise.
This was from
in high school.
2014 or something, right?
So I did the math out. So he went to what's it called? He went to Maryland from 2020 to 2024.
No. I'm talking about the Dalvin Cook highlights.
No, Dalvin Cook highlight must have been like 2013, 2012. It was a while ago. It was old.
Hold up. Hey, Drew, who are you talking about now?
That Kevin Ostrich, whatever the fuck his name is.
Ostriker.
Every goddamn time.
Kevin
every goddamn time we sign somebody, he tweets out like fucking 40-year-old highlights.
He's got a Dropbox folder with with like
Lamar Jackson, Pop
Rivals.com,
Warner.
like Rivals.com clips
look,
filmed on like a fucking like a sidekick back in like
I used to make fun of
2000s.
Ramey. I used to make fun of Ramey because every time we'd sign some fucking random guy, he'd pull a clip off Twitter and tweet it. But at least they were fucking NFL highlights that Ramey would tweet. So I probably owe him an apology. I'm not going to because he's like 12 years old and bald. But just like fucking stick to NFL highlights, or if you're tweeting about a college kid, maybe something from the last 12 months, not fucking 12 years.
There's no reason to apologize to Caillou, Drew.
Yeah,
you don't apologize to Caillou.
Meanwhile,
he's a Canadian cartoon, and there was
sitting over there defending Tom.
Mental AIDS.
Tom's old, so I have to.
He's old and bald.
He's not quite as old as you, but he's old.
He's older than me. He's at least as old as Dr. Tom.
Will, you're fucking 53 years old. He is not 53. I promise you that.
Dr. Tom is 53. I'm far younger than that.
Your birthday's canceled going on, so you actually haven't aged. So
true. Yeah.
That's good news for you.
I haven't aged in 3 years. So
yeah, your birthday's been canceled for 3 years, so you're no longer allowed to celebrate your birthday.
Yeah.
Have you had to legally change it yet?
What's
like
that?
is that the next like executive order? Is that you're no longer allowed to acknowledge your birthday? You have to go a day before or a day after.
Well, I feel like in this day and age, I can just change my birthday.
Yeah, I mean, might as well.
Right.
Well, let's stop on this before Grant fucking jumps through his computer and starts. You
can change whatever you want now, right? Change whatever you want.
Well, Drew, Trimpy, Grant, Will, I'd say that's going to do it for this week's installment. We'll be back to discuss this, that, and the other.
We'll have some exciting Pop Warner highlights of everybody who shows up at rookie camp next week.
Yeah, I want to say something before we go. Last night.
What you want to say?
Last night I got locked out of my house by a dog for 4 hours.
How the fuck did they do that?
I have 4 dogs. One of them woke me up at 3:00 in the morning. So I took that dog out, and another dog wanted to go out, so we went out. Then when we went, I saw it. You don't have to put it on the screen. When I brought those 2 dogs in, the other 2 dogs wanted to go out. So I brought the other 2 dogs out. One of the dogs is really big that I brought out first. He didn't like that I was bringing the other 2 dogs out. So I shut the back door. He jumped up. His gigantic paw hit the deadbolt turn and locked the door.
Yeah,
so people talk about, like dogs are almost as smart as humans. I feel like he locked you out on purpose.
Well, then he sat by the door staring at me until he just got tired of doing that, and then he just went to sleep. Like right in my face. Right in my face. So I sat outside trying to figure out how I was going to get in. It was 3:00 in the morning. And then eventually I decided I did not want to break the door, kick the door in. I did not want to break the glass in the door because it's really, really expensive to replace that shit. So I decided I was going to break the lock on the door. So I took a brick and I beat the fuck out of the deadbolt until I could get into the door and slide the deadbolt over and get in. It took me 4 hours to do this because my next door neighbors have a baby. I didn't want to wake the baby up. So I was just intermittently hitting the lock with a brick.
FBI agents who are listening to this live, because FBI, NSA agents listen to all live recordings. Will is admitting to a federal crime live on air, breaking and entering, bad.
That's a federal crime.
Yeah, federal crime, federal offense.
Breaking into your own house.
You had
That's
no proof
right.
that did you have your wallet with you when you did that?
I have my digital ID in my.
Oh my God!
app.
If they came to your house and like beat the shit out of you with one of those clubs, that would be a way better story.
Yeah, the FBI could make
Yeah,
a federal
Yep.
crime.
Yep.
Man, that would have been
breaking and
two. Hey, Drew, that would have been 2 ass whippers and
Will versus
Well,
police would
that
have
may
another.
that may have been many ass whippings. Who knows?
Hey, Will, real quick. Hey, Jake, real quick, because I know you're ready to go. When I say, hey, Will, that story that you said on opening day, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, bro, why they act like that? Why don't workers like that, bro? Like, security. Like, yo, the lady was trying to put me and my mans out. Yo, that shit was crazy. Then
Well, that's because you try to sneak into the suite.
No, because I was sitting right there where Art and them was
you
at.
can get in there.
But then when I went over there to
bring
go,
you in there.
no, look. Then when I went over there to go talk to Lacey and the one dude, after we was chilling for a while, he gonna say, "Hey, I know you ain't supposed to be right here." I said, "I can't see my peoples for real." Yo, this man was bitching the whole time, but mind you, wasn't nobody sitting right there. I'm like, yo,
that man gets paid $20 an hour, and his one joy in life is to give you.
He's talking about a fan.
No, I'm talking about.
He's talking about RL security.
You talking about top 5 security?
Oh, he's talking about
fucking
Usher.
Day-Day?
He's talking about an Usher.
Yeah, an Usher. That guy gets paid $100 a game, and his only joy in life is to give you a hard time.
Right. Well,
Yep.
yeah, and he's probably like keeping score in his pocket too.
Yeah, most likely.
Yep. Trying to get brought back by the temp agency so they can work another game. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this week's installment.
Live death. Here we go.
We'll be back to discuss this, that, and the other. But meanwhile, let's see how this goes. It's time for me to die.
Not great. Grant, what the fuck?
See ya.
That was a live death for 230 people.
All right.
Fucking respect. I'm now in the afterlife.
That's.
Did you end it?
Nope.